All right, not a lot of us here this morning, but thank you guys for showing up. So it'll still be good. Have I told you guys a story about the hunter and the bear? Yeah. Guy wants to go hunting, been hunting his whole life, but he's never been able to get a bear. And he finally got a permit to go get a bear. And he's up there and he's up there and it's his third day and it's come on, it's his third and final day to get this bear. And he's frustrated. It's like the end of the day, gets tired, can't find it. He starts cursing, starts rolling loud, he's really upset. Then he finally goes to the stream to relieve himself, kind of the stream. And as he puts his gun down and walks 10 yards into the stream, he notices a bear in the middle of the stream. And the bear comes charging at him. And the guy drops to me and he says, God, please save my life. Please convert this bear into a Christian. Please let me live. And right then the bear stopped right on top of him and says, miraculously, got down on his knee and says, God, thank you for this meal that I'm about to receive. So the bear became a Christian. But not in the way that the guy was hoping. Please stand for the flag salute. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for making it this morning. Please, come on. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, guys. My name is Bartolomeo Cruz. I'm new anyway.
Well, you got a new license. You've been an agent in the past.
Yes, I was licensed for some time.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do
Two jobs
at the same time, so it didn't work out.
Well,
So
yeah.
at the end of the year, I was like 2-3 years ago, so I went back to all this stuff.
Well, Bartolomeo, thank you for coming in. We appreciate having you. You were at our Fresno office before we bought it with John and John.
Yes.
And now you're here with us because you live in Visalia. So thank you. Welcome aboard. We appreciate having you. Give a round of applause. Thank you. All right, look, it feels like a Monday, but it's really Tuesday because it's Memorial Day weekend, and so hopefully some of you got my email. Hopefully you got the company email. It's one of those. I was talking to someone that know that's a veteran. I said Happy Memorial Day. He says no, that's not a holiday. Don't do that to veterans. We don't like that. We have our own holiday. This is for everybody who lost their lives in their back. I never made the distinction. I mean, obviously I know what Memorial Day is, right? But yeah, don't do that for veterans, right? Right. Yeah. All right. So let's roll. All right. Here's what we got. This is a white screen, and our lender's not here, so we'll keep going. But actually, you're here, so come on up. Come on up. Property ID. Thank you. Tell us what you got going on. So I told him I got 5 to 7 minutes is all he has. We'll get up and leave.
So a lot of you guys are familiar with property ID already, but for people who are coming back into the business on there, we're you guys' most comprehensive NHD providers. Right over it does more disclosures than our competitors. We do it more past the regulations, what's required on there to make sure everyone's protected. We're the only NHD provider that covers you guys under insurance policy. We offer our NHD multiple languages, and you do have access to Maylon, our in-house disclosure attorney as well for any direct questions on there. Because I mean, the way she puts it is, you guys didn't write the NHD report. You're not required to explain it. Send all those questions to us. Let us support you guys and take that off your plate for it. Something new that is going on with us right now, though, is we have something called the Good News Report, powered by, and it's an odd name, I understand. It's powered by nakedhouse.ai. So .ai is the operative domain. .com is something completely different, not associated with us. What that does is it provides you a report on there that shows you the entire potential of a property. So it'll go over all the allowable uses, allowable units, buildable areas on there, how high you can build.
It goes into like zoning then.
Yes, absolutely. And it'll have all the civil codes next to it. And it'll go over any ADUs and basically shows you it's a great negotiating tool and differentiating listing tool as well to kind of empower your listings for it. As we've seen kind of with the market right now, generational living and basically having more parties in the house is kind of a norm now to make it more feasible in the housing market for it. But this way they can kind of have their cake and eat it too, right? They can get their property and have the potential for when things go on, to build onto it later on as well. With that, it'll give you scenarios on buildable area for it. It'll let you know like, hey, this is all the setbacks for it. This is, you know, the parking requirements, all those will be listed on there. And I'll send, I have a sample report with me. We can pull it up if you'd like. I can run through it. And I can also send it to you guys directly to your email as well.
Definitely send that to the emails. Bob, how easy would it be to pull up something on the website?
I'm sorry?
Would it be easy to pull something up on the website?
Yeah, we just have to stop sharing and reshare it.
Can you do that real quick?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, so the report that they have, you know, property ID's always been our NHD of choice, but this new report with new AI just makes everything a little bit easier. It's another additional benefit to your customers. What's the additional cost for the zoning report that you have, the good news report?
So by itself, it's $139 and it is payable through escrow as well. But if you order with your NHD, ends up being $100. So it's $199 for both the NHD and the good news report.
Okay. So if you had somebody who's interested in doing an ADU or knowing the zoning, this is another, might as well spend $100 to get them all the information. Or they could do all their own research on their own, but this kind of speeds the process up.
It's not very new.
Actually, you just type in the.
If you buy them together, it's 100 each.
Naked
Oh,
house on AI.
If you buy it on it by
What is that?
itself, it's one
Naked house
For
dot AI.
example, if you have a customer that comes back to you and they've owned the house for a while, they're not an escrow, they can buy it for $100.
Make it,
House.ai.
Yeah, I guess probably change that name.
Yeah, I know. But this kind of shows the standard property and basically what it can be turned into as far as how many levels it can go and such. But if you scroll down, or actually right there, sample report. In the top right there.
let me
It's gonna
share
be
this. out.
formatted very much like our NHD report where everything is hyperlinked to it. So anytime you're on another page, you can go back to the main glossary page on it.
So it's good for all your investors that want to convert old properties or put multi-units. Probably more useful and high expensive.
Page 2. So everything's linked on there for it. AD regulation, development potential scenarios. And then it's not a huge report. It's usually about 15, 16 pages on there, but it has a ton of information on it. When I scroll down. So allowable uses. You know, lotion up, it could be like another, they want to do a home business, home offices, elder care facility, animal grooming. In Tower in Fresno, someone had turned one of those houses into, it was a 100-year-old house into a kind of like speakeasy type bar, which is pretty cool.
It might be really good for your situation in Fresno, you're listing, you're caught up on that.
Oh, well, thank you.
For that one, you can see what that commercial building can be used into for the American Legion President. Might be what it's spending.
Junior ADU as well. So let you know basically where all the setbacks would be, how much you can do on there. If you wanted to keep it separate, if you wanted it up together, the amount of units you wanted to, for any type of people who want to do like an Airbnb. So it opens up the doors for a lot of investors as well. Height limits, garages. So yeah, I can get that to you guys as well. And have a
Please
couple.
put that, I'd like to write it on yours, but just to see what it
If
is.
you want to send me the address, so I always tell people. We use the AI kind of what it was originally intended for all that. Data aggregation to make it into a consumable, digestible product on it, to take out all the busy work for it, but we still give it that human element. So any order or any report you order from us takes about 24 to 48 hours because we gather all the data. We format it like this, and then we double check it and make sure all the fields are correct and such. So we do our due diligence, you know, that oversight to make sure you guys are still protected.
So if you ran that, you'd get it back in a couple days.
Yeah, usually within 24 hours. But we give it that 48 hours just in case of course incidentals or if there's certain like if it's like on certain property lines on it. Like we had one that took a little bit longer up north where we had to make sure about the boat docking clearance. So things get, you know, a little more in depth depending on your property. Any questions? I know I just tossed a lot of information your way.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of input. Maybe if we can set up a Wednesday class for it. We can do it via Zoom so we can get everybody in the company on it. I think it's a great report. And when you guys were telling me about it in a previous meeting, I thought it was really useful. Obviously, I can see where this has more benefit in places like high land value, like the Central Coast, even when you're redeveloping in Fresno. But even around here, we have people that want to do an ADU or they want to build second units. This can tell you whether they can go up into a second unit ADU or convert it into 3 or 4 units.
And
It's really nice.
a lot of people are using it to breathe life into older listings as well.
Yeah.
So let's say it's been on the market for a while, and this way it kind of breathes new life into it.
You can add this to your listing right on the MLS.
Yes.
I think here's all the possibilities for this listing.
Absolutely.
Now you get into the commercial world kind of, yeah. Any questions on this, guys? This is a really good report.
So so it'll deal with the zoning all, wherever it's zoned at,
Yeah, it'll have them all right next to it. If we scroll back up to page 3. And scroll up just a tiny bit, it'll have all the civicals next to it on there, everything's cited. And then anything else that would require additional like links on there, it's all gonna be hyperlinked in the report itself too.
If one of our customers wanted to order this, can we just give them the website and tell them to do it on their own?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
That way, hey, here, you do your own diligence. If you do it for them, they can hold you responsible. But if you give them the info and let them run it on their own, then they bought it. Now, if there was a mistake on this somehow, and they came back after us, does this also cover it on their own?
Absolutely.
Perfect. I like it.
If the client orders it himself, will the cost be the same?
It'd be the 139 on there. So they order it through you guys along with the NHD as a bundle for it, then it'd be the 199 for both.
But like you said, to redo like the listing that you had for a bid or anybody that's already owned property for a while, this is how they can find the info.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's another benefit that you can offer them or a piece of advice that you can offer your customers. I like it. Perfect.
All right, thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Well, thank you. But please put your contact info in here. You don't have to leave anything, but after, yeah. Thank you. All right, here we go. Back to me. It's the me show again. I'm just joking. That always about me. Let's go. Okay, if we go past this one. All right, so let's work on your business a little bit. Anybody like that picture? I take that picture on my phone. Love it. All right, so who's going in here and who's playing with the Snap system? We'll get you we'll get you some training on it. So you guys are all using it. So if you guys need some training on it, please let me know. I'll give you half an hour to 1 hour of my time, and I've been doing it in here with a few people at a time. There's a lot of really good info, and I just want to go into one more time. If you go in there, there's 2 calendars. The top calendar I kind of hit off at the top, looks just like this. That's your personal calendar. If you don't link your calendar, it's never going to be anything in there. You scroll down to this one. This one has all of your training. The one that is circled in red, I did this on purpose to show you, if you go there, the next one goes into all of the stuff, home, instructor, training, events, admin. This is what it looks like. And this is buyer and seller representation. If you scroll down some more, you go down to here. The ones that are C21 are the ones you want. The ones that say CB are for Coldwell Banker. Those are Coldwell Banker branded because Select owns both brands. So don't go to those because they're not going to benefit you. Go to all the ones that say C21. And the ones that are Epic and Cornerstone are just a different branding from other companies that he's bought in other states. But if you just go to C21, any of the other ones, you guys can download, and this is what it looks like. When you guys look for buyers, there's also sellers. So you go to the right page, whichever one you're stuck with. And so if you want to work with sellers, there's different ones. One of the prompts is another agent will take a lower commission. Have you guys ever heard that when you're taking a listing? And so it gives you a script and actually gives you several ways and several scripts on that one page on how to handle that conversation. So different ideas on how to do that. On the right side, the next one's can we drop the price if we don't get an offer? That's when you're going with the listing and the guy's like, hey, if we don't get any offers in the next month, can we drop the price then? And then it tells you what to say. Yeah, Larry, if we don't get any price, any offers, and we get viewings, no offers in the next month, sure, we can drop the price in a month. But what that does to your house is it makes it look stale. It makes it look like you're chasing the market down. Have you ever gone by a used car lot or even a new car lot and the cars look old and dusty? I mean, they're brand new, but they haven't been washed in a couple of weeks. Maybe we had a dust storm. Do you want to stop and look at those cars? No. How about when you drive by and they're nice and clean? That's what catches your attention. And you see, if we let your house sit on the market for about a month, it's going to look old and dusty. And they're going to think there's something wrong with your house. Why aren't people making offers? Why aren't they buying it? So absolutely, Larry, we could do about a month and then drop the price, but it's going to make your property look bad. Is that what you want? Wouldn't you rather have a couple of offers to negotiate? And so there's a lot of different scripts that kind of go over that. And then the next one there is close the deal. Look, how to overcome different objections on closing the deal, closing the listing. And the list goes on, educating the seller, communicate. It's how to have that conversation with your sellers. How do you want to be communicated with? Charlie might want me to call him. He might be okay with emails. Larry might want me to text him. And so it's different ways to have those conversations to make sure you and your client are on the same page. If you go to the left side, it's your buyer's ones. More than just the compensation, because now you guys have to get the compensation. We're going to actually cover one of those documents today. It's a brand new skill that we've had now and we've been working on for about 18 months. The next one's buyer home search, buyer expectations, buyer pre-approval, buyer pre-consultation. The pre-consultation is really, really important with buyers now more than ever because it's completely changed. Because now in the pre-consultation, you're negotiating what? Your commission, right from the buyers. And so we'll do a little bit of that. And here's one on the screen. Another agent will take a lower commission. And there's one way to do it here. And it says or, and then there's another way. And then this says or at the bottom of the page. It gives you 3 ways to try to handle that objection. So please spend some time on the snap system. You can't hurt it. Just be careful with your website part because that does change your website immediately. And so that's the only one you want to be careful with. Oh, all right. Let me hand these out. All right. I'm even going to give you one, Bob, in case people ask you anything. Mark. Take one. That is in colors, and there wasn't that many. All right, so go to the one that says possible representation of more than one buyer, disclosure and consent for buyer. If you look at the abbreviations at the top, this is a PRBS. We've been using a PRBS, but this is the PRBS B. That's actually the next one on the screen. So let me go here. The PRSB B. So this is coming out next month in June. When is June? Next week. So next week, this comes out for all of you. I printed in color. All the ones in red are the changes that have been made. Now, anytime this is specific to when you're working with a buyer. And so when it comes out, and I mean, obviously I won't say draft, this is just because it's out beforehand. When you go to the second page, sorry, to the second section, section B, seller and multiple buyers. In the second where it says 2B, buyer further acknowledges that broker may represent one buyers competing for the same property and consents to the brokerage representing both buyers and other buyers. Yeah, there's a lot of importance here. And the way that reads maybe doesn't make sense to you. So let me give you the scenario. Legally, the way this works is anybody that works for the brokerage is one of our agents. So if Charlie's representing a buyer and you're representing a buyer and both of you, even though you're separate agents, are making an offer on the same property, legally we got to get the sign. And do you think that scenario will happen? Happens all the time. We're a really big company. But now let's assume that Charlie is representing a buyer and they want to go make an offer on a house on Main Street. And his next customer over the weekend wants to make an offer on the exact same house. You better get this signed in advance. Because now as an agent, you have dual representation of people that want to make an offer on the exact same house. Has that ever happened to you where you have multiple buyers from the same property? Raise your hands. Almost everybody. You have to get this signed because your buyers will have a question for you. Hey, Charlie, are you going to tell your other buyers about my offer? And your answer is going to be what? I can't. Unless I have permission to share it, I can't. But the only thing I'm allowed to legally say is it's over asking or under asking. That's it. You can't get any more details. Well, you know what, Charlie, I do have another buyer from the same property that happened to make an offer that was under asking price. Where do you want to come in? Well, what's their offer? I can't tell you because if I tell you what their offer is, I have to tell them what your offer is. And that wouldn't work. All I'm allowed to say is it's over or it's under. And that's it.
Right.
So please get this signed. It's brand new. Why do you think we have this one? Because somebody got sued somewhere. So please use it. Dan, you had a question?
No.
Yeah.
Isn't this included already when you do the RP, when you're doing the new buyer? Is it gonna be?
The
attached?
buyers,
Is it gonna be attached?
this is
to-
a brand new document
To the
when you're
pack.
representing buyers. So
Yeah,
you're
it's gonna be attached to this, and let's say I get one on June 1st. And I'm getting a new buyer and I'm doing a new.
this will be part of it. It's so you know how to explain it. Yes. So the PRBS B.
Yeah, so it'll be in the packet.
Yes. All right. Your next one. Your next one on the screen. It's not in color on this one here. But that's because every single thing that you see here, all of these documents, everything there is an update. And so all of these will be updated. They do updates now every June and every December. And so when you look at what form it is, it'll tell you what version it's replacing. A lot of these have brand new language that were just redone in December. So 6 months ago, they had brand new language, and now 6 months later, they're adding or changing the language. It'll give you an idea of what they changed on the side. You should go up and pull up these forms. These forms are zip forms now, but they'll be live. They'll be replacing the other ones first of next month. Yes.
Get somebody, anytime we do get updates like this, can we get someone to go over it with it, like have a class so we can go?
They already did. It's online.
Online?
It's online. It's in your calendar.
Okay,
It's in Snap.
okay,
And so they're already being covered. If you guys check your select email, you'll have some emails already from Mike Southwick, who's the broker of record.
is that
for the
on
DR.
Wednesdays on?
I don't know. I have to look at the
I
calendar.
think it's Wednesdays at 11.
Wednesday at 11. So
Wednesday.
they're already there. The classes are already going through.
Okay.
But this gives you a brief overview because to cover all these forms would take,
Yeah,
more than all day if you're gonna do a good job. But this gives you a nice overview. So please be aware that there's changes. Anytime I go over a document, like with my company, we did it last week, I always go over on the actual document when it was revised. Hey, this was last revised on this date. And if it's a new date, it tells me to, reminds myself to be aware. So please, a lot of changes coming your way. It's all here for you. I'll forward the email. Everybody already has the email. It's been sent out twice onto your
1
select
o'clock
email.
on Wednesdays.
1 o'clock on Wednesday, so that's already there for you. So that'll be tomorrow at 1.
Okay.
And so we're covering all the forms now. You're absolutely welcome. All right, here we go. Success begins with mindset. Who agrees with that? Anybody? Absolutely, right? And so if your mindset is down, if you're feeling bad, if you're sitting in the dark in the back corner, you might not have the energy. I probably should turn on that light for you. And so here's where you
You
go.
nailed it, Mike.
Right, I mean, you sit in the dark in the back corner. I mean,
she is the light.
That's right. That's right. She has a great smile. So tiny tilt in degrees generates great differences in trajectory. Look, I'm not a golfer, but how many of you have ever played golf? So it's probably a really bad analogy. But if you're playing golf, if you move the way that you're holding the stick, it either goes to the right, to the left, or right down the middle. A small change in how you hold things and look at things will change the trajectory of where that ball goes. But let's put this in perspective of your life. How many of you have people that were friends of yours when you got in business, or maybe when you were younger, or maybe you grew up with them, and are you still friends today? Hopefully some of you can say, yes, I'm still friends with some of them, but we have had different patterns, different lives, and your trajectory in life has completely changed. It's true for me and my siblings. It's true for me and some of my friends. I love them from a distance now with some of my friends. I don't want to be around them. Not because I think I'm better than them, is we just have different paths in lives. I don't drink, I don't smoke, therefore I don't want to go to the barbecues and stuff. And if, like some of them I haven't invited over for like 20 years because they're not my circle, right? They're still friends, still love them, just love them from a distance.
Well, they're
So-
another agent, now they're dead to me.
There you go. Really, it always depends on the situation. I did have a brother-in-law use somebody else, and I was talking to him for months. But what I didn't realize is he was going through a divorce. He hadn't told anybody. He didn't want me in his finances, and he didn't want me to be a part of that because I was friends with both of them, right? And so sometimes there's situations where they will use somebody else because of the way they feel internally, but we still talk and we're still friends. And so those things happen in life. But here's how it goes into your career. You can have a 10, 15, 20, 30, 40-year career in real estate and just get by and just be average. And there's nothing wrong with being average. But then you can be somewhere above that if you just put a little bit extra effort, spend a little bit more time in Snap, learn a little bit more of the scripts, do 1 or 2 more phone calls. When somebody tells you no, ask another couple of questions. Don't ask yes or no questions. Eliminate those from your vocabulary when you're having a conversation with somebody to keep the conversation going. Just get better at what you do. And if you can do 1 or 2 more deals a year, every single year, after 10 years, that's 20, 24 more than what you were doing. If you do that over time, your income triples from what you have today. It's small differences that add up over time. What's happening to prices? Almost every single year, except for like 2011, those years. What happens to prices usually? They do what?
Go up.
they go up, and they go up an average of about 5% per year. So that means that if it went up 5% last year and 5% this year, it's not a 10% increase, because it's 5% over the value from last year, and it keeps compounding up. And so what happens to your income if you do 12 transactions a year every single year? You're doing the same exact amount of transactions, but what happened to your income? It's increasing, and hopefully more than enough to stay up with inflation, right? But you're doing the same. What if instead you did 13 deals this year instead of 12? And then next year you did 14. And the next year you did 15 or 16. And then in 5 years, instead of doing 12, you're doing 24. Now your income hasn't doubled, it's more than doubled, because what's happening to the prices? They continue to go up. So you see the changes in real estate don't need to be very big. They can be small. But over time, what it does to your life, it allows you to have a life that's a little bit more stress-free. I don't ever get motivated by money directly. It's never been a motive for me. There was times when I was really busy in sales that the checks would stack up, and I would take them later. It was always about doing the right job for the customer, right? And if you do it that way, and you do it because you want to do the right job for the customer, then it's not about the commission. The commission is a side effect of you enjoying your job. But we really got to start looking at, it's not about the money, it's about doing a good job. And that little difference makes a huge difference over time. An absolutely huge difference over time. So please try one more question. Ask one more time for a yes. Don't give up. Do one more thing. All right. Everybody read this with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And make sure to say your expectations out loud, or better yet, in writing. They are only real if they are in writing. We're in May. Next week is June. Next week starts the 6th month of the year. We're almost through the halfway point of the year. Are you halfway to your income goal? Are you halfway to your transaction goal? You don't have to be, because the summer is the busiest time of the year. Starts from May and it goes all the way to September for most customers, and sometimes all the way through October. But it starts typically in March or April. Why? Why does our busy season start in March or April? Taxes. We had one of the busiest Aprils that we had ever had as far as payments are concerned. And so it's there, the business is there. You have to go get your part of the business. So please make sure that you put your goals in writing. So setting a higher standard for yourself. You have 2 choices. You can make a living, or you can design a life that you want. I mean, how many of you would like to have that opportunity to just go do what you want in life? To start planning the vacations, maybe redoing your kitchen, maybe doing some planning in the backyard, maybe redoing something in your house, right? Redoing something. Just what is it that it's going to take to get there? I mean, my wife's wanted to run about the right way for years. Since we bought the house 13 years ago. We put it in 2 years ago now. But it was one of those that until we put it in writing, it wasn't going to happen. And, you know, we always talked about it and talked about it. You know what it took to actually get it done? I called 2 cement contractors out to give me quotes. And then we had a serious, and then I called the handyman. The handyman was more expensive than one of the contractors. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I got 2 cement contractors out and I'm like, oh, I'll call the handyman now. Because now I have 2 bids from 2 contractors. The handyman was more expensive.
Huh.
One of the contractors gets better pricing, knows what he's doing. He's efficient, he's quick. And so we ended up using the contractor to do the cement. But we didn't know it was an idea that I always thought was going to be really expensive. I always thought it was going to be like 32 grand. It was 17.8. It's a lot of money for a driveway, but it was a nice big roundabout cement driveway. We took out all the black asphalt that we had and we put this big, beautiful driveway. But until I had a price, it was just an idea. And we had this idea for like 11 years, but we never did it because we never put it in writing. And see, same as for you, whatever it is, whether it's redoing your kitchen, your backyard, your house, a car, whatever, a vacation, until you get the numbers, until it's in writing, you're just dreaming. You're just existing. So whatever it is that you want, design it. Get some quotes. Know what it is to do. But we always wanted more walkways. So once I just called the same contractor, and he just did cement about 3 weeks ago now. And he added a walkway from the front of the house all the way around to the back. Now I want to do the other side, but not really. I want to put pavers. I don't want cement all the way around the house. But until you put something in writing, until you get the numbers, you're just thinking about it. You're just existing. So put some plan behind it, and whatever it is that you want. The 80-20 rule. Anybody know what this is called? Pareto's principle. Anybody ever heard of that? Basically, it says that 80% of the sales in any kind of a field are done by 20% of the salespeople. And that's kind of where we're at. 20% of your efforts will give you 80% of your results. I mean, do you guys think it takes a lot more work to get in escrow? Or is it more work to see it through the escrow process? It's probably a lot more work to get one in escrow. Probably a lot more effort, right? And once you're in escrow, You're just watching the timelines, making sure the inspections are done, making sure the appraisal, done, making sure everything's going the way it's supposed to. But in life, 20% of your efforts are getting you 80% of your life. What are you doing with the other 80% of your time? How many of you are prospecting daily? Raise your hand. How many of you have trained network daily? How many of you are having conversations about real estate with people every single day? How many of you are doing social media posts of some kind, reminding people what you do for a living? But we got to get, bless you, we got to get to a point where your efforts, where 80% of your time is spent trying to find a customer. When I got into real estate, I was part-time. I did it for 4 years. I never thought that I would do this for a living. When I decided to do it for a living, my wife we were both working. She was working, and in the evening, she was going back to school to get her teaching credential. And so she kept working. She just like, we needed the income. And so when I went into real estate, I knew that I had to make some income because I didn't want my wife to quit her job, but I also didn't want her to stress out. And so I went in there, and the way that I thought about real estate was this way. And I think I told you the same thing. I looked at every adult that I came into contact with as a customer because they're either a owner or they're either a tenant. And that's the way that I look at real estate. Everybody that I talk to is either already an owner or they're a tenant, which means they're a customer. So everybody is a customer by the way that I looked at life. Everybody that I came in contact with was a potential customer. But some people don't think that way, but I had to. And so it was about thinking differently about the people that you meet. Are they a potential future customer or not? Now, where are you spending your time? If 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of your actual efforts, meaning only 20% of what you do is making you money. The other 80% is just you taking care of business. It's taking care of the customer, but it's not making you money. What do you get paid to do? To get offers accepted, to sign listings. How do you get more of those appointments? Look at your making contacts. Make more appointments. Your goal every single week should be to try to make 4 to 6 appointments every single week. If you get 4 to 6 appointments every single week, either with a buyer or with a seller, even if you're not good at this, you'll close half of them. Because what we know through statistics is that sellers 75% of the time will sign with the very first agent that they meet with. 75%. So even if you're terrible at this, half of the time you're going to close them. Because statistically, you'll get them 75% of the time. So you don't have to be very good. You just have to be knowledgeable of what you're doing, and you have to get in front of the customer. That's sellers. Buyers are a different story. Buyers have changed completely because now you're asking them to pay you. How do you have that conversation? Have you guys thought about it? I mean, how do you have that conversation, Charlie? I'm working with you. You're going to represent me, and you're going to be my agent. How do you tell me I'm going to pay you a commission? How does that sound?
Well, Mike, right now the way real estate works is that buyers are not responsible for paying the brokerage fee for our offer.
Yeah.
Again, the broker in this case will be Century 20 and already linked, so.
Yeah.
That's what the broker is, so. The contract that we're going to be filling out here shows that you, the buyer, have an agreement to pay the brokerage fee.
Perfect. Perfect. Here's just another idea for you guys. Find your own that works for you. When this came out 18 months ago, all of us were scared. How are we going to do this? I've always told the buyers they didn't have to pay me. So here's a different way. Not a better way, just a different way. And I'll go back to you, Charlie. Hey, Charlie, we're going to sign this agreement here that I'm going to work with you for the next 90 days, and you're only going to work with me for the job of finding you a house. Is that okay? Are you planning to work with other agents?
Yeah.
Good. Now, typically I work for 3% commission, and you're looking at about a $400,000 house. 3% of 400,000 is $12,000. On top of your down payment, your loan closing cost, do you have an additional $12,000 sitting in saving and payment? Say no.
Really don't.
No, right? Because it's really expensive. So Charlie, most of my buyers don't have the additional $12,000 or $15,000 to pay me. I work for 3%. I'm going to tell you one thing, Charlie. When it comes into the negotiating, I'm never going to let my commission stop you from buying the house. Okay. I'm willing to negotiate with you. In this document, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to try to get the seller to pay all 3%. What I've been averaging is begin them to pay 2 or 2.5% commission. So let's assume that I can get a seller to pay 2%. Do you have 1% in savings of $4,000? That's what's 1% for? It's $4,000. Do you have $4,000? Isn't that better than 12? If it came down to it, do you have $12,000? Sorry, $4,000 to pay me? Say no.
No.
Okay. Here's what I'm willing to do for you. I'll cut that last percent in half, and I'm willing to do it for 2.5%. If it comes down to that, can you come up with $2,000 to pay me?
Absolutely.
Perfect. I'm gonna do my best to get the seller to pay for all of it, but I can't work for free. So as the negotiating process goes through, we're gonna sign this for 3%. I'm gonna mark the box down that says that you don't have the money to pay me. By marking the box that you don't have the money to pay me, it puts me on notice that you don't have 12 grand. More importantly, it puts the seller on notice that you don't have 12 grand, so they need to participate in my compensation. Are you okay with doing that?
Sure.
Perfect. And again, that 1% will work out the difference if it gets down to that point, okay? And that's just a different way to have that conversation, but you gotta have an honest and clear conversation with your people. I mean, you may have to pay me some money. Are you okay with that? Do you have it? You know, if I can't get the seller to pay for anything, then we've got to go find another house, right? And so you got to have that conversation. So again, the conversations have completely changed. Unfortunately, what we know is that a lot of us spend 80% of our time in real estate doing stuff that doesn't make you money. Refocus your energy on getting appointments, buyer and seller appointments. Refocus yourself on marketing, getting your name out there so people will call you for appointments for buyers and sellers, investors too. But refocus your time and energy. Here's the unfortunate part that we're seeing. Instead of an 80-20, we're seeing that 90% of the sales are coming from 10% of the agents. What we're seeing is that the very successful agents that have a lot of money, that are making a ton of sales, are getting better and more efficient. And because they're getting more efficient, they're just taking a bigger part of that pie. And you know what's helping them become more efficient? I'm tired of talking about AI, but it's AI. AI is making their life more efficient. They're streamlining instead of spending a lot of time thinking about things. They just use AI to make their job easier. So use it to make you faster at what you do. Okay. All right. My goal is, everybody read this with me. 1, 2, 3. My goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. It's not about it. It's about you and what you want out of life. Be better than you were yesterday. Get better at sales by doing one extra thing today. Learn one new thing. Learn another question to ask, learn another script, learn how to send an email that goes out to everybody. If you guys go into your select emails, you guys will get an email from me, just a random template that I didn't hear for Memorial Day. And it's a reminder that you have a powerful CRM and happy Memorial Day. Just a reminder. Everybody got it. It took 1 click. Actually, it took like 10 clicks total to set it up. And I did it a week ago and it was done. Yes.
The thing that I noticed about it, it didn't have everyone else's, it just said to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always thought you said to me.
Yeah, because that's what it does. It makes it look like I sent it just to you and nobody else. So when you get it, you thought I was just thinking directly of you.
Yeah.
But it was a reminder, all the agents in Visalia got it if you're in the system. And so it just learn something new. Learn something new. Top agents for April. Thank you, Bob, for doing this. Number 10, Merari Leon. When we met Merari, we asked him because of his name if he had a Ferrari, and he said yes, and he actually did. Around on his keychain, he had a little Ferrari on his keychain. Ferrari. So apparently people have been asking that most of his life. Ferrari sounds like Ferrari. Number 9, Mike Leva. He looks like a model, doesn't he? Number 8, Tina Hernandez. She has like 3 jobs, man. She does it all. Number 7, Evoy Stacy. Anybody not know Evoy? She's one of our nurses. She's going to be a nurse practitioner. She's in school for that. She's more than halfway done. So she'll be a nurse practitioner. She'll be basically a doctor. Number 6, Mitch. How many of you ever seen Mitch here? He locks himself in the back so you can't see him when he is here. But he works a lot from the coast and he works a lot from his car, from wherever he's at. He travels a lot, but he's still number 6 from all the traveling. Number 5, Eric Fontes. Man, he has that blue steel look. Anybody ever see that movie? No. It's someone, yeah, he looks like a model like that dude. Lisa Sorode. Nobody know where Lisa lives?
The coast.
She moved to the coast, yeah. And she does business here and there from the coast. Number 3, Vivian Leeson. I think he sold that $1 million house and went over there and took some pictures in front of it to look good. And number 2, any guesses on number 1?
No. Yes.
Lewis D. We need a new picture of him. That's like 15 years ago, I think. I don't know. All right. Ready? Read it with me. I don't usually brag about going to expensive places, but I just left the gas station. Man. Right?
Right.
Oh, it is. It is really expensive. How many of you hate the gas prices? How many of you have downloaded apps on your phone to save money? I go to AM/PM a lot, and I probably go to Flyers and Farmersville the most. But if you don't download the app, it actually gives you 5 to 10 cents every time you fill up. Every single time. And so, a lot of them do, so just go out there, download the apps, because there's ways that you can save a little bit of money. Nobody ever cared until it got really expensive. You know anything to save money? Yeah, most people know.
I stopped driving the truck, but I'm driving the.
Yeah, the other car. Yeah, for me, I just go literally from here, most of the time, if I gotta gas up, I either come on the way through Farmersville or go home through Farmersville. That's the cheapest gas around here. But, yeah, all right, the tip of the day, let's go. I know I'm a little dorky. Some people create their own storms and get upset when it rains. Ooh. Ooh. How do you get a storm in real estate? Not calling people back, avoiding phone calls, avoiding emails, missing things. Just handle it. It happens. It's part of life. Just get back onto it. But yeah, this is a big one. Coming soon. Going back to the floor. Coming soon. Anybody? Nobody. Somebody like me. Tell me you're working. You got a listing coming up. Anyway,
I do.
talk to me. But what do you got?
It's in Fresno.
Oh, we like Fresno. Fresno's good. Fresno sells.
Well, actually, I just got certified to do the roof.
Yes. Congratulations. Yeah.
So I'm gonna need your help because that house was gonna need some refresher refurbishing.
So here's the key to refresh and refurbish. You've taken the course, you know how to record the liens on it. Has to be a high equity home. Are you familiar with refresh and refurbish?
Come on.
Somewhat, because you need to get hired on with a company so you can do this. So again, the key is here, Jen, that you have up to $30,000 to lend. Anything above 30 has an interest rate and it complicates things. They don't have to use all 30. They can use anywhere from 1,000 up to, and really at 1,000, it's not even worth it, but they could use as little as 1,000 up to 30 to refresh that property. You do become the property manager, the project manager. Sorry, I said that wrong. The project manager. So we'll work on that, but it has to be a high equity situation where they have enough money that after paying off whatever they own and the new loan that we're going to give them, there's still enough to pay your commissions and still put some money in their pocket. So we're looking at a maximum loan to value of 80% after whatever money they borrowed in commissions. Okay. Because we want to figure, we want them to make some money. So, yeah, no problem. That's pretty easy. You know, we can come up with an LTD. Yeah. Anybody else with a coming soon or a having a want? No. Nobody? Is anybody listening to real estate podcast? Nobody? No one listens to him at all? Yeah, I like Terry James. Who said you said Terry James? Did you listen to one of them? It was last month. He had one where he was talking on there, and actually his wife was the one that was on there with him. And this one was really interesting. I just clicked on most of the stuff and I listened to it. But here's what he said. The question that came in from somebody that were answering questions was, you know, they don't think they'll ever be able to buy a house because they're so expensive. And they were given a story about when their grandparents bought a house, the house was like $32,000, you know, 50 years ago or whatever it was. And they were making that analogy. And has anybody really thought of what's happened with prices over the last 50 years or 40 years? I mean, what has happened with prices? Right? Has income gone way up?
Yeah.
So our,
Yeah.
It's about the same.
Well, in some cases, not in LA, you know, not in San Francisco. But one of the things that was said was back 50 years ago, if you start looking at the time frame, there was one person working and one person at home. So most US households had how many incomes?
One.
Had one. And so now how many household incomes have two? The majority.
Two and a half.
And so in some cases, and then we got into multi-generational ones. So what's happened is not only have they gone up overpriced, but all of a sudden, it didn't matter where you were living. If you were competing to buy a house, because there's been a housing shortage for the last 80 years, we haven't been building enough. And there's a nice house in a nice neighborhood, and you have one income in your house, and your neighbor that, or the next person wants to be the neighbor has two incomes. Can they offer more than you?
Yeah.
And this is what was happening. This is what was happening in the 60s. This is what was happening in the 70s. Is two income households were making bigger offers, higher offers to get the properties. And all of a sudden, just in order to compete and to have a house, most households became two income households. And that just increased the speed at which prices continue to elevate. And so it's no different now. You can still buy a house here in the valley with, and have, you know, with two incomes or sometimes with one. You can still have a really good quality of life. Can you do that in LA or the Bay? No, it's struggle. Prices are really, really high there. So is there some areas that are affected in a negative way? Absolutely. But when you listen to podcasts, it'll just go into and breaking down things and make it, in some cases, make you think from a different angle and look at things a little bit different. And then you can have a better conversation with your customers when the prices, when the home prices come up or when you have an objection. So please, start subscribing to a couple of the podcasts, make sure they're not AI podcasts. There's a lot of fake podcasts that are created by AI. They're not even humans. And those are somebody that there's no intellect or human spirit in those. So make sure that you have one that's actual humans doing the talking. Did you guys know that's a big thing now?
Yeah.
A lot of people are just creating AI, not podcasts about AI, but creating podcasts through AI where there's no humans and asking questions. They're just input, which is not necessarily wrong, but you guys are in the human business. Make sure you guys are looking at podcasts that are made by humans for humans, right? Not by computers for humans. All right, let's roll here. Thank you. Any questions on anything? Anybody? No, we're good. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Bob. Thank you guys for coming in. And I got a couple things for you, Rito, that I handed out today. They're just forms that are changing next month. Oh, no, not before them. I think 4 pages.